Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, I hope you're doing well. This is Kenya Revolutionary. Today, I'm bringing you another video just to share my thought on what's going on in Kenyan politics, or should I say politics. You know the first order of business. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead, take a moment, hit that subscribe button, hit it if you haven't subscribed yet. And if you have subscribed, you know the deal. Go ahead and like the video, share, comment, tell me about your thoughts, okay? All right. Am I audible? I hope I'm audible. All right, let's get started. Now, I just wanted to share this this thought. There's a lot of talk about regarding Gachagua. As you guys know, if you've been following Kenyan politics closely, in the past 3 months, the headlines have been all about regarding Gachagua. Whether it's him having his exchanges with Oscar Sudi and Malala and all, whatever. Whoever, okay? Then there's this talk of 1 shilling, one vote, 1 shilling, one whatever debate that's going on. And he's been, castigated at this as the VP who's trying to be the Mount Kenya, head of Mount Kenya. It's funny how he wasn't part of the Limuru 3, which was about Mount Kenya leadership and where they want to head. But I want you to explore this avenue with me, okay? Because by every indication, I think there's a hidden hand in all this. I personally think, and this is my opinion, based on what I consider evidence, clear evidence, that it is the former president Uhuru Kenyatta who is behind all this brouhaha and all this excitement around Mount Kenya politics. Now, follow me with this, okay? Gachagua has been very vocal, speaking about, grabbing headlines for, like I said, whether it's his exchange with the party members, and the headlines, especially from the Azimio vloggers and bloggers, they have been painting this narrative and they're pushing it hard. Suggesting that Gachagua is basically, cutting ties, not cutting ties, but is having problems with his boss, President Ruto. Now, if you haven't realized, when this Limuru 3 happened, even before that, Gachagua went to Mount Kenya and made it clear that, actually apologized to the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, who is seen, actually was voted as the Mudhamaki, the representative of the Mount Kenya. He apologized and said, they lied to him, whatever. So he would like to extend an olive branch to Uhuru Kenyatta for his abuse before he became president. Now, Limuru 3 happened, and those close to the ground can tell you with certainty that Uhuru Kenyatta sponsored the whole thing. Of course, after the whole Limuru 3 meeting, Uhuru was voted again as the voice, the Mudhamaki, the king of the mountain, Mount Kenya. Now you can see Gachagua is kind of drawing near to Uhuru Kenyatta. In my opinion, this is a strategy by Kenyatta to isolate the Mount Kenya region away from this administration led by President Ruto. Isolate them, make Rigathi Gachagua the so-called head of Mount Kenya, okay, prop him up basically. Then number 2, it is to try to destroy the Kenya Kwanza coalition within. Because remember, Kenya Kwanza is basically made up of 3 tribes, main tribes. The Luhya, which is headed by, the likes of Mudavadi. Then you have the Kalenjin, of course, who make up the majority with the UDA faction. Then you have the Kikuyus, who voted overwhelmingly for Ruto in the past general election. So if Kenyatta can use Gachagua, okay, to kind of have an isolationist approach by taking away the Kikuyu, or let me just say Mount Kenya vote away from the Kenya Kwanza political coalition, you can hear them now, a lot of politicians, especially from the Mount Kenya region, Wamuchomba, led by Wamuchomba. Of course, Wamuchomba was a hard-headed from the get-go. She was in that Limuru 3. She's quick to highlight the misfortunes of the Mount Kenya region, okay? The economic hardship that they're going through, whether it's the dwindling in sales from their products, okay? And she also highlights the, as you had that governor from Nyeri who had an exchange with Murkomen, who was highlighting that the fact that this government is paying more attention, funding other counties, giving them more money than the Mount Kenya region. So you see, and that's the closest ally to Rigathi Gachagua, the vice president. So you see, there's a theme among some faction of Mount Kenya politicians, majority of them either funded by Kenyatta or Kenyatta affiliates or close friends. Okay, these guys are really pushing this idea that the president is not getting along with the vice president. Not only that, they are the ones who are the loudest in advancing this 1 shilling, 1 vote, 1 whatever idea, okay? And also, they are the ones who are quick to remind the country that President Ruto has abandoned them. And they are, you hear them say that, the Kikuyus are suffering under under the President Ruto, and that President Ruto lied to them. Now, the reason why I say this is because none other than Raila Odinga. What makes Raila Odinga go to Central Province, meet with the Kikuyu Council of Elders or whatever the case is, and announce that he is in favor of the 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote idea, a position that Vice President Gachagua also takes. In fairness, this was advanced years back under the BBI, so it's not like Raila Odinga is coming up with a new idea, but the fact that he is aligned politically as far as in this issue, he is aligned with Rigathi Gachagua, is something that it's a bit, suspicious, Now, this shows me that, remember, Raila is still Uhuru Kenyatta's stooge. The guy was paid to stand down in 2017, for those of you who don't know. But the point I'm trying to make is this. Uhuru Kenyatta is behind all this political fracas that's happening in Kenya Kwanza right now, especially starting from the Mount Kenya region. Okay? He has already, and I think from the get-go, he had Rigathi Gachagua in his pockets. And he's using Gachagua as a tool to weaken this administration. Now, the last point I want to make before I wrap up, I told you I won't be here for long, is the fact that Uhuru Kenyatta, through his representative, the lady, I don't know her name is, Dana something, who came out in Citizen and made a statement, press conference, reminding Kenyans that this administration hasn't paid not only Mama Ngina's security, paid for her security, or the pension that they get as the first family or former head of states, and also they haven't paid Uhuru Kenyatta. Okay, what was the need of highlighting that this year? He went the whole of last year without mentioning that. Why is he bringing it now? It is designed to pile pressure on this government. The whole point is this. Uhuru Kenyatta, through his minions, Gachagua, and others, is trying to paint a picture that Ruto is actually targeting Mount Kenya by destroying their businesses and attacking their leaders. That's the impression or the narrative that Uhuru Kenyatta is trying to drive. He wants the Mount Kenya voting bloc to move away from this administration, which is fine. But it is just amazing how people are lapping this up, especially there's new folks who are driving this narrative that Gachagua is actually having a fight with his boss. Ladies and gentlemen, if you understand politics in Kenya, you'd understand that the Kenyatas have great influence in this country, not only through the media, but in businesses. There's a good piece, if you go to Nyakundi, I think his name is Cyprus Osiris Nyakundi's page, Twitter page, he highlights the far-reaching hand of the Kenyatas through Uhuru Kenyatta's brother, Muhoho Kenyatta. Go read that piece. It will give you an idea of how the Kenyatas have a reach and are very influential in this country called Kenya. So for Ruto, he needs to be very careful because this family has the money and the influence and the business connection to weaken this administration. So when I hear Gachagua talk and the governor of Nyeri and his allies, I only hear one man called Uhuru Kenyatta. If it wasn't for the AUC chairperson position, Raila Odinga would be fully invested in this fight too. And I suspect that once we find out that Raila Odinga is not going to be the president or the AUC chairperson, it will be gloves off and he will join the gang. He will join Gachagua in 2027 in the fight to weaken this William Samoei Ruto's administration. It is only a matter of time. I said it before and I'll say it again. In 2027, there's no one candidate that will meet the 50+1 threshold that the Constitution stipulates you must have to be declared the president of the country. All of the candidates that are going to run, whether it's Raila Odinga, Gachagua, or William Ruto, shall come short, and we shall have a government